today on Divorce Court.
I'm here at divorce court today because Antonio and I have been having some issues, and I feel as though we're drifting apart.
It's got so that we don't communicate much no more, and we just don't talk.
I need the judge to help us with our problems as far as lack of communication, lack of trust, his friends always been around.
I be lonely, I be at the house by myself, she stay gone, and I don't trust her, it feels like she's cheating on me.
Antonio and I have been together for a long time, and I don't want to leave him, but if I have to, then that's what I'll do if things do not change.
Divorce Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lynn Toller presiding.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Isla Swann and Antonio Swann. Mr. and Mrs. Swann, you have been together 17 years, married for 14 years. I love a seasoned couple. I do. You have no children together. You have one child from a previous relationship. Mrs. Swann, I'm going to start with you. You're here on to Save My Marriage. Tell me what's gone wrong at your house.
Well, my biggest problem with Antonio is that he gives his friends money and they don't pay him back. Yes.
So he's not pulling much in, and what he does pull in, he's handing off
away
to somebody else's household.
Yes,
Mr. Swann, what's your take on that one?
My take is, yes, I do help my friends out. I give them a couple of dollars and stuff, but my wife, she can't really talk too much about money because she pays people light bills, phone bills, and stuff like that, and don't ask for it back. At least like 9 times.
At least you ask.
Yes.
May not get it, but you ask.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Now, let me ask you this. Are you doing the same thing you're accusing him of doing?
No.
But on a larger scale?
No, ma'am. I have a tendency to help out if I can, but if I'm not in a situation to help out, then I don't because I can't.
Mr. Swann, what is your main complaint about Mrs. Swann?
Well, she had complained about my friends being over at my house all the time.
Right.
And they do be at the house, but she don't be at home, She'll come, she'll say she'll be home in 30 minutes.
Right.
And she don't be home to 5 or 6 hours, And that's why I have friends, because a lot of time I'm lonely,
You're lonely?
Yes.
Nothing going on, no kids at the house?
Yes.
It's just you. Do you leave your man alone?
Yes, ma'am, I do. And the reason why I do, because I get up at 5:30 every morning. I'm at work at 6, and I don't get off until 3. When I do get off and I decide to go home, Mr. Swann has his friends at the house. I have 2 hours after work before I have to go to school. So I don't want to come home and look at your friends and this, that, and the third, and I can't even sit down and have a decent conversation with you. So what's the use of me coming home? I'm tired. I don't want to look at them.
And she told it. Did she tell it? She told it. And Mr. Swann, is that true? She works, she gets up at the crack of dawn, goes to work to support you, comes home 2 hours with you, but you got your friends there before she has to go to school because she's trying to get a better education so she can make more money to support you.
Well, some of that is true, but like I say, the reason why I have my friends around, because she's never around. Like I said, she'll say, well, I be home, this and that. I call her, I'm busy,
She's working.
Well...
Or she's going to school.
She is not doing that much work, Your Honor, as she's saying.
Wow.
And I have worked in my life.
Huh?
I have worked before.
I'm not accusing you of not working. I understand that you had medical difficulties. You were in a coma for 7 months, weren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
You've got a lot going on. I don't blame you at all for, your situation is what your situation is, but you got to respect what your woman's doing.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
That's her home, her house, where she's secure. Can you hang over somebody else's house?
Yes, I can. Yes, ma'am.
Do that.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Does that help, or do you want him home?
That's fine. I don't mind him going to see his friends and spend time with them, but where is my time?
You see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know why she's doing that?
Yes.
Why is she doing it?
Because I'm not spending enough time and paying her enough attention.
She's lonely.
Yes.
She's working. She's going to school. She's putting a roof over your head, food in your stomach, and everybody else is more important than her, and her heart is hurt. You feeling that over there?
Yes,
I
I'm
feel it
feeling
over
it.
here. I just met her.
Yes, I feel it.
So what do you think you could do about that?
Well, I can cut my friends off and start being there more for her and do the things she
Everybody's
want me
so
to do.
dramatic. I didn't nobody asking you to cut your friends off.
Well, I can spend more time with my
She's
wife.
home between 3 and 5.
Yeah.
Could you be home alone between 3 and 5 and talk to her?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
That's all I want.
Yes, ma'am.
That's all I want.
Yes, ma'am, I can do that.
Is that'll work out?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that helpful?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, let's go on to the next topic. There's been a lot going on, and some of it has to do with your ability to have a baby and things that have happened while you were pregnant. So, I mean, you know, we were talking about that, laughing and being funny and all, but I want to talk about the underlying issues that have really caused the two of you some pain in your marriage, and that happens to be around children.
I said, we're pregnant. He looked at me and he said, well, the timing doesn't add up.
We weren't really having sex like that.
Mrs. Swann, you say that things were going along pretty well until there became an issue with a pregnancy. Why don't you tell me what happened in that regard?
Okay, for the longest, it was hard for us to get pregnant, so we went and seen the infertility doctor. 2 months after, I took a pregnancy test, and I found out that I was pregnant. And I was hoping that Mr. Swann was going to be as happy as I was. Well, when I told him, I said, we're pregnant, and he looked at me and he said, well, the timing doesn't add up, as if, yeah. But I brushed it off, like, because I was just happy in the moment, and it didn't matter to me because I knew. But 2 weeks after finding out that I was pregnant, I found out that I was having a miscarriage. And, like, after that, then it was like I was just having flashbacks of what he said to me. It was just very emotional for me. Like,
Now, did he apologize? Did he?
No.
Was he supportive?
mm,
Did he show up for you at all?
no, I had to have a medical procedure, and he wasn't there.
Okay, Mr. Swann, why don't you tell me how you felt? Because it was a loss for you as well.
Yes.
Why don't you tell me how you felt during that
I
period?
really felt sad about the situation, but when the doctor had said that I had a low sperm count and stuff, and we weren't really having sex like that, you know, like once a month or twice. That's why I thought.
That's all it takes.
Yes, and I was there after days and add up. I felt like she was cheating on me because she wasn't home, she wasn't talking to me, and, you know, she was spending more time at other places and, you know, with other people and stuff before the pregnancy. So I thought that it possibly couldn't be mine. But far as me being there, I was there every day with the hospital when she would have the miscarriage, and I was there the whole time.
Was he there every day when you were having the miscarriage?
When I found out that I was having a miscarriage, he was at the hospital with me, but in my mind, I was in denial because I even looked at the doctors and I told them, I was like, you're lying. It can't be. So, like, emotionally and physically, like, I was just going through the motion. Like, I didn't want to be bothered, especially after I really found out, okay, this is true, this is happening, and like it just made me feel some type of way towards him because all I can remember was what he said to me.
Yeah. And Mrs. Swann, let me say this to you. You have a big bucket of sad over there because that is a heartbreaking and physiologically difficult thing to go through because your hormones are going like ooh, up and down. Your body don't know what to do because it doesn't know if it's supporting a baby or if it's not supporting a baby and all that. And he was out of pocket and wrong when he said that. But I want you to acknowledge what he did do. I don't want you to put that all in that bucket of sad. I know you felt some type of way, but now, in the fullness of time, you got to look back at it and say, yeah, he said that, but then he did that dumb thing. Yeah. But then afterwards, he showed up my husband. So you can take that out of that sad part. You know what I'm saying? Yes, and appreciate what he did do. Yeah. Not because to give him credit, but to give you some peace.
Yes, ma'am.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
You got to separate out the two things, you know? Yes. You know, being a fool for a couple of seconds is what that is, but showing up for real for days on end, that's what that is.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, did you really believe it wasn't yours?
Yeah, I really thought it was mine, but in the back of my mind, because the way our relationship was while she was pregnant, we won't holler talking, you know, won't holler.
Don't let your fear speak for you. That's your fear that you blurted out.
Okay, yes.
You know what I mean? You blurted out with what could have been the worst result.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just don't let your fear speak for you, okay?
Yes.
So now I want to talk about what you guys decided to do about the child issue, because you wanted to look into adoption, and I understand that caused a whole nother set of problems.
He got over 300-something women only as his Facebook friends, and they got everything hanging out. I mean, everything.
Could you forgive a partner for doubting your baby's paternity? Tell us what you think at Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back. So, Mrs. Swann, I understand you wanted to consider adoption, but that didn't quite work out. Why don't you tell me what happened?
Okay, I had asked Antonio, I was like, well, since we're having the issues that we're having about having a baby, I asked him, I said, well, what do you think about adoption? Because I feel as though it's a lot of kids out there that need, yes, ma'am. And he looked at me and said, no, that's not something I want to do because you don't never know what you're bringing in your house.
Mr. Swann, why don't you tell me how you recall that conversation?
I said that, but the reason why I said it is because I felt like she said that I had got her pregnant again. I mean, the first time, I feel like that I would be able to get her pregnant again and we'd have a child together as out, you know, she conceived my child.
Were you not willing to consider adoption at all?
And I was really concerned about it.
You know, when you have your own baby, you don't know what you're going to get either. Right. You know what I'm saying? They can be your biologicals and take you on a trip you never anticipated. So, you know, you never know what, you know, what pops out, pops out. You know, it could be anything. I should have just left that alone. I understand you guys have an issue with social media.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you tell me about that, Mrs. Swann?
Okay, so Mr. Swann and I decided that we weren't going to do the Facebook thing, you know, because at the end of the day, it can cause a lot of problems because,
mess.
Yeah, people misuse it. So I get a phone call one day and somebody says, have you seen Antonio's Facebook page? I said, no, Antonio don't have a Facebook page. They said, yes, he do. You need to look at it. I went on there and I looked at it. He got over 300-something women only as his Facebook friends, and they got everything hanging out. I mean, everything. Sure.
Y'all caught that? I was like, making sure. Mr. Swann, what's your response to that?
Well, first off, my wife started the Facebook thing first. Well, she started socializing with her friends on Instagram.
Right.
No, by mail.
On Instagram, they was talking on the phone. On Instagram, she talking it, you know, on Instagram, and they in prison.
About IMO.
IMO. Well, IMO. But they had Instagram too. It's IMO.
Commentary from the gallery over there.
And she was talking to this dude on there every day, spending most time with him on the phone. Then she was talking to me, and they started writing letters and this and that. And
who were you chit-chatting with in prison?
Okay, First and foremost, he was like a pen pal, and it wasn't that serious because when Mr. Swann asked me about it, I was honest with Mr. Swann. I didn't go behind his back telling lies and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? Even down to Mr. Swann.
What you doing by getting a pen pal in prison?
I needed
I mean, if you have a friend or a relative that went in, absolutely. Chit-chat. They need love and support. But just finding a dude in prison to write to, my husband would feel some kind of way about that, too.
Yes, yes, Your Honor. Mail coming to the house.
Don't you know what I'm saying?
But that's somebody that I will never in my life see. And it ain't like we was talking about things we weren't supposed to be talking about. We was talking about life. I was talking to him about God and
No.
Yeah.
Your Honor, she won't.
Mrs. Swann, you don't have to say nary a word. That was wrong.
yes, it
You
was.
shouldn't have done it.
You're right.
It wasn't a good idea. You wouldn't like him pen paling with some chick in the prison, would you? No, you wouldn't.
No.
Intimacies happen, I get that, and I know you were lonely, but that wasn't cool. You get
You're
that?
right.
It
Yes,
wasn't
ma'am.
cool.
Yes, ma'am. But he was on Facebook telling women
That wasn't
sexy.
cool. That wasn't cool.
They free.
She started the pen pal first, and that's when I started. I was just talking to him on Facebook just to see if I still had it, because I haven't been outside my marriage. And
How old are you?
I'm 45, ma'am.
How old are you?
33.
Let me tell you what I think about folks your age doing the things that you do. How often do you approve of your partner having friends over? Share your opinion on Twitter and Instagram at Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back. I want you to be able, and you too, to express how you feel. I think he loves you. I do. I really think
Yes, I
that
do
man
love my
loves
wife.
you. It's easy to do the wrong thing when you got fellas and you hanging around the house all day and you're a little amorphous and you're a little fluffy with your time, and then all of a sudden your buddies are relaxed and you get relaxed. You can't be relaxed when you got a woman. You got to be on point, on target. You got to care for her. And to tell you what, just because you can't bring in any money don't mean you can't bring her joy, can't bring her security, can't bring her safety. You handsome, nice to look at. She wants to see you. You see what I'm saying? Go home and make her feel like she's somebody. And don't hang on to what he did in the past.
Yes,
He
ma'am.
behaved childishly.
Yes, ma'am.
It's over because he's going to behave better now, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
With your handsome
I'm gonna
self.
take care
You're
of
going
my
to behave
wife.
better because she loves you.
Yes,
and
I love my
he
wife.
loves you. And you have a conversation, right? Figure out what you want to say and then talk about it.
Yes, ma'am.
And then, you can love one another without the neighbors. You ain't got the kind of money to be lending. Don't do it.
Yes.
No Facebook. No people in prison.
Yes, ma'am.
This matter is adjourned.
Judge Lynn threw a lot at you guys today. What's some of the advice you're going to walk away with?
I'm gonna pay more attention to my wife, and I'm gonna love her, and leave my friends alone, and be there for my wife, and just take care of the things I'm supposed to take care of with her.
What about yourself?
Me personally, whenever we have a problem, I'm gonna address it or basically communicate more with him and leave the past in the past and move forward to the future.
Okay. All right, well, I appreciate you guys coming in. Best of luck to you both.